Here we go. Here we go, brownies. The kids cardiac, catch me in the Muni where the party at. Dog pound, turn up with the elf up on my starter cap. Brought him back, boy we from the land and we proud of that. Louder man, front to the back, here we go, I got him shouting that. Here we go, brownies. Here we go. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Stand up. Here we go, brownies. Game on the line, Joe Thomas, I promise. Jim Brown running through opponents, how I got this. I return like Josh Cripps, hand for the mini, got the dog pound jumping. Here we go, brownies. Here we go. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Stand up. Here we go, brownies. Let's go.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Mr. Hero's turning 60. We're proud to have served your favorite cravings for 60 years and celebrating what we do best. Thanks, Ohio.
I crave a hero.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Here We Go Brownies podcast. I'm Allie Ellery, coming at you live from Pensacola, Florida. Joined with me, as always, out in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, we have Dustin. But guys, you just heard our friends over at Mr. Hero. Be sure to download their app. You can get buy one, get one offers just for signing up. You can get points, rewards, all of that good stuff. You can order food within the app. It's awesome. So please be sure to check them out over at Mr. Hero. Dustin, how you living?
You know, it's been a pretty calm 10 to 12 days.
Great.
No losses. The only thing that really frustrated me is I got to watch a lot of NFL football games that I typically would not watch because it's, a non-Browns, no Browns on. And what frustrated me is I saw a lot of teams that are really bad score more than 20 points, 25, 27. I'm like, wow, other teams can really score points. So that was interesting. So that it makes you look through a different lens, right? Because now you're really looking at other games and other teams. You're like, damn, these guys are really bad, but man, they're putting up 28 points today. So, and then we got a press conference this week where at the very end of it, Kevin Stefanski is by the way, I will not be calling plays anymore. And Tommy Reese is the play caller. Like, whoop, that just got thrown in like a hot take, and out he was. So then I was like, oh, well, I guess we'll see if Tommy Reese is what the Nick Sabans of the world and those folks, give him those accolades, and hopefully we can see this offense do something.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't surprising. I don't think this is surprising. We kind of called it a couple of weeks ago that out of the bye, expect some changes, and there still may be changes to come. So just sit back on that. But not surprised. This is what Kevin did last year, gave up play calling at the bye. That's when they started Jameis Winston. I mean, it is concerning, right? You have two years where you're dead last in every offensive metric, and you're supposed to have an NFL kind of offensive guru as your head coach. And 2 years in a row, he's giving up play calling halfway through the season. So that's obviously concerning. We're going to talk about it, but I think this also provides a little bit of hope from a fan perspective to just maybe see something a little bit different offensively. And maybe it won't be. Kevin said that it's going to continue to be a collaborative kind of thing with Tommy as the offensive play caller, but ultimately Tommy gets the final say. And I mean, that's kind of, I'm happy for this. I'm of the mindset that your offensive coordinator should be calling the plays. Your defensive coordinator should be calling the plays for the defense. Your head coach is the CEO. That's my viewpoint on the coaching structure. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But another thing just to highlight is there aren't a ton of examples of this being successful. Okay. One, there aren't a ton of examples where you have a head coach that gave up play calling 2 years in a row and kept his job. That doesn't exist out there. But also there's not a lot of examples where they do give up play calling and it gets tremendously better or tremendously worse. So I don't really expect a lot to change. I don't come away from this bye week, from the trade deadline, and we're going to talk about it. So this is just surface level conversation here, but I don't come away from anything with any more clarity. If anything, everybody, I come away a lot more confused as to what this team is doing and trying to do. We saw what the Jets did in the trade deadline. Clearly, they're tanking. Clearly, they've accumulated a ton of draft capital, traded away some talented players. We know what they're doing. And you have other teams that were kind of buyers.
Mm-hmm.
The Dallas Cowboys, for example, who made some moves to maybe bolster their defense in some ways and do some things. So you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to win. When you look at a team like the Browns, where it's like, okay, you could have been one of two things. You could have sold some assets and hit the tank button, or accumulated some players and some talent to try to win now. But they did neither of those two things. And I've done over 500 episodes of this program. I've done over 500 shows.
Okay, first of all, that is crazy for us to just think about that in general. But go ahead. Yeah, that's a crazy. Yeah.
Over 500 shows. We might even be over 600 at this point. But at this current moment, am more confused as a Browns fan than I have ever been. I know that's not what you want to hear. I know as fans listening to this, you think, wow, we're going to tune into this program. Maybe these two can provide some insight or some clarity into what's happening. I got none of that for you. I don't know. This is a weird time to be a fan because I don't know what the path forward is. I don't know what it is this team's trying to do. It's entertaining nonetheless. It makes for good podcasting, but it doesn't I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really have a good grip on what
here's a couple things. I got to spend a couple hours with Dylan Gabriel yesterday, and after what the Jets did, I came away with two things. To your point, the Jets are tanking. What do the Jets need? The same damn thing the Cleveland Browns do, a solidified starter that can win you games in the National Football Leagues. The Jets and the Browns are exactly in the same category. And a lot was made, well, why didn't the Browns make those moves that the Jets did yesterday to strategically get to where they need to get if they want that quarterback in the 2026 draft? And a lot can be made of that. But it made me almost double down and be like, you know what? Because of them tanking and now having 3 first-round picks next year and 1 in 27 and a second rounder, I mean, they can do whatever the hell they want, that being the New York Jets when it comes to the draft next year. If they want the number 1 pick and they're the worst team, or if they're not, they've got enough draft capital to pretty much have their way in the 2026 first-round draft. So I'm sitting there thinking, man, this team, I would really like to see the Browns, Dylan Gabriel, and this quarterback class that we drafted to be successful, because, man, if they are and we can win with what we have, well, then we can just build around that, right? Like that's a good problem to have.
You're welcome. Yeah.
But and for me, I don't want to be the desperate team next year that tries to leapfrog the New York Jets or do something because there's a once in a generational. I mean, unless there is a once in a generational talent type of quarterback, you should stay away from that 1,000%. Because if you screw it up and you miss again and you give away a bunch of draft capital, I feel like you've set yourself back another 3 years, basically, of doing the same mistake again.
On the circumstance and situation, but yes, I get your point.
And so it's like, unless there's the Peyton Manning or those type of guys out there, which, by the way, I don't think there is, in this next class, there are really good quarterbacks. I don't see a guy that's going to be like, that's a future guy that you can't miss on. I think there's a bunch of really good guys, and we just don't, you know what I mean? Like, so I think the Browns, I came to the belief, I was sitting there this afternoon just thinking, would it be better suited for the Browns with those draft picks that they have to go find a free agent quarterback next year and go get that route and then build around that and get wide receivers?
The free agency pool next year for quarterbacks is thin. That won't be an option. So maybe for a trade, but also, I mean, what you just described, Dustin, it is incredibly difficult to analyze and draft quarterbacks on both ends of the spectrum. When Trevor Lawrence came out in, 2021, everybody was saying he's the next Andrew Luck. He is the best prospect that has come out since Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. He's one of those. He hasn't.
Yeah.
He has not been. Now, I still like I like Trevor. I think he's got potential, but he has not been what he was drafted to be. But then on the same note, you go back to the 2017 class and you draft Miles #1 overall. And I don't think you regret that. I mean, when you hear some of these other names, you may, but he was the clear-cut #1 overall pick. Like, that is who anybody's going to take. But then you also have Patrick Mahomes in that same draft, who was a raw prospect. So just drafting a quarterback it's a risk. It's kind of a shot in the dark. However, when you have the opportunity to take a quarterback in the first round, it's your best opportunity to address the quarterback situation, because outside of the first round, there is a big drop off. That's just kind of historically how that's been. Now, there are arguments, there are situations, and there are cases to be made that you can still find a guy elsewhere. I mean, Brock Purdy is an example. Like, there are so many examples of quarterbacks that are not first rounders, of course. However, like, statistically speaking, the odds are in your favor to take that in the first round. They had that opportunity to do it last year. They could have taken.
Well,
he was available.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. So we had, as you know, Nathan Zucker on, and he brought up that specific comment about if you don't take a quarterback in the first round, past that, exponentially, your chances of finding that guy go down significantly after the first round. And he used the table and explained it to us. If you look in the last 25 years in the National Football League, the amount of guys that ended up being starters long-term in the NFL that were not first rounders it was very, very few and far between. And by the way, even if you took the guy in the first round, that was still about a 25-30% chance that you were going to hit on that. So for us to sit here, I mean, even with a Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders to hit that, it's like kind of hitting the lottery in a lot of ways. Yeah,
it really is. And that's why it's so important that when you have the opportunity you have multiple first round picks, you're taking a quarterback. Like, you're going to do that. I just, and I want to highlight this, Angel. I see your comment here. They're doing kind of a soft rebuild, which is confusing because you can't really do it, especially the way that this team is financially structured. Tanking and this rebuild approach is not going to be traditional. This is going to be completely unorthodox. And I think that is what's ultimately happening. Because I heard on the one podcast, they were calling it kind of like a rebuild diet, or like a diet tank.
A diet rebuild.
It's tank zero kind of thing. And that's ultimately like what they're doing, trying to hold on to the talent that they have, but still making moves around to rebuild in other ways. But we've had this conversation so many times. You cannot continue kicking the can down the road. And if you miss on a quarterback, then you do it again. Now, they missed on Deshaun Watson. They did. They whiffed hard, and we are still feeling that. And we will continue to feel that over the course of the next few years. But when you have the opportunity, you've got to take it. You have to. Hopefully, none of this matters, because maybe one of these guys will be the answer long term. We still don't know that. That's kind of the hope. But it all obviously starts right now. And I think going into this game against the Jets, this is going to be very telling, because if the Browns lose this game, I don't think it's possible, to be honest with you. I think the Jets are going to try every which way to lose from here on out.
Allie, the Browns have done stupider things, but go ahead.
That's the thing. So if the Browns go out and they win in dominant fashion and it's a great team win, then that tells me like they still want to string a couple of wins together, and or if they go out and they pull what we think the Jets are going to do and just kind of lose on purpose, and that tells me they're trying to get the #1 overall pick or top 3 pick, which is also possible. So I think going into this week with a new offensive play caller and an opportunity either way, whether you win or lose, which is crazy to think that that's where we're at in the season, that might give us a little bit more direction. So
yeah, and it's interesting. If you talk to some of the players, I don't know if you got to see the interview from David Njoku today. He was pretty adamant about staying with the Cleveland Browns forever. And our Daryl Rutter got the actual question to him. And Wyatt Teller saying, I don't want to be traded. I think there's some feeling, to your point, this diet kind of rebuild, that maybe keep a couple pieces and parts around and go find these other guys. And Wyatt even said, look, if you look at this team, there's a couple games that we definitely got our butt whooped. But there's a couple games here where we could actually have. I mean, we could be talking we could be 4-3, basically. Is what he's saying. Like we could actually be 4-3. Yeah, we lost some of these, but some of these were like they were ours to win. And he goes, we aren't as bad. And he goes, just like all teams, we're not as bad probably as our record. We're not as good as our record either. So it was kind of interesting. He was very transparent, saying this team isn't as bad as people think it is. And there are pieces here. And maybe that's what the Andrew Berries and the internal staff is looking at and why they weren't sellers really on the trade deadline. I said, hey, look, we got 10 picks, now 11 next year. Let's find some ways to, again, maybe do a reboot, not a rebuild. I guess that could be another word you could use, but maybe that's what they see as like, we just have some key pieces we got to fix. The wide receiver, the offensive line, some of these places that need that help.
The Jets are a perfect example here. Go back 2 years. They had the number 1 defense in the National Football League, but they had an abysmal offense. And look at where they're at now. They had for 2 steady years a Super Bowl caliber defense under Robert Saleh. I mean, maybe that's a little hyperbolic, but they had a top 5 defense in the National Football League, an absolutely abysmal offense. And it just proves that defensive talent and defensive strength isn't enough to carry this team. It's not.
And that's clearly what the Jets said by, having the right.
But also, let's take it back even a few more years. Prior to that, they had, 5 or 6 first and second round picks over the course of 2 years. So they were doing exactly what it is that they're doing now. And they still, even just 5 years later, they're in the same situation. So it's all about hitting on those picks, right? This matters. This time period matters in what you're doing. It matters what you're doing financially. It matters what you're doing in the trade market. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment. It matters, obviously, what you do in the draft. Do you think that David Njoku takes a team-friendly deal next year to stay? Team-friendly? No. No, I do not. Look, I love David. But let me ask you, would you want to take a discount to be on a bad team? Probably not. Now, if the Browns can structure it in a way where it's, and I think they can, because salary cap, like it does, you can manipulate that any which way you want to. So let's throw that out the window for a second. But I don't doubt that he maybe wants to stay in Cleveland, but I don't know that he'll necessarily take a discount to do so. Look, we're kind of on, dare I say, the plateau to decline of his career. He's a little bit older. They draft Harold Fannin Jr. They like what they see there. I think they would want to retain him, but I don't know that it would necessarily be like a hometown discount just to stick around.
I'm hearing 2-year extension is kind of where they're at with David Njoku. Yeah.
Possible. Real quick before we bring David on, a quick shout out to our friends over at City Barbecue, guys. While you're planning, your holiday events, consider City Barbecue. We've got Thanksgiving coming up, we've got Christmas, other holidays that you may celebrate. Please consider City Barbecue. They can cater the entire event. They can do, some awesome dishes. You can maybe do some pulled pork, some turkey for Thanksgiving, chicken. They do it all over at City Barbecue. Award-winning sauces, meats, sides. Please be sure to check them out. They can cater your events, whether it's for the holidays or not. Maybe you've got a corporate event coming up or something like that. Please give them a call. Also, while you're at it, guys, Stadium Mustard. If you don't have that in your kitchen this season, you're doing it wrong. The iconic brand, the iconic taste, beloved from ballparks to backyards and everywhere in between. Stadium Mustard is a smooth brown mustard rich in both taste and tradition. By the way, it's loved by millions. So be sure to head on over to stadiummustard.com to shop now. And real quick, before we bring on the doctor, Dustin, why don't you tell our listeners about Lake Erie Distillery?
Yeah, guys, if you haven't had Lake Erie Distillery, ask for it at your local drinking establishment or get it at your local liquor store. Check out their Dill Pickle Vodka, #1 in Ohio. Also, Burning River Cinnamon Whiskey and all the great bourbons that they have over there at Lake Erie Distillery. You can pick that up in Willoughby, Ohio, or look for that online at your local liquor distilleries all over the great state of Ohio.
Yep, there you go. So we talked about the trade deadline, what happened. We'll get into it more on an NFL level once we bring David on. But what the Browns did, the only thing that they did on the day is they traded Joe Tryon-Shoyinka to the Bears. Chicago receives, obviously, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and a 7th-round draft pick in 2026. And the Browns get back a 6th-round draft pick. So Bears needed some help on their defensive line.
After the injury on Sunday. Yep.
And Browns get a 6th. out of all of the players that I thought were going to be traded and all of that, that's just not anything that I had on my radar at all.
Well, that was on your bingo. That was on Allie's bingo card. That player right there.
And I saw that and I was like, well, that's shocking.
I saw that. Honestly, I was like, who is that again? Like, no, it was one of those. Like, is he our third string backup? Yeah. Like,
oh yeah, I know who he is. It was just like that's just not.
I knew the name, but I'm like, he doesn't get a lot of playing time, right?
Well, and I think that's if you're the Browns, you feel comfortable with Isaiah McGuire X, right? You
Yeah.
feel good about that, but still, it's just out of all of the speculation on what was going to happen at the trade deadline, Browns are going to be buyers, and then that's all they did. It was just kind of surprising. So we'll get into that here in a little bit more from an entire NFL landscape. But let's bring on Dr. David Ellery, the medical moment. This is brought to you by our friends over at Lorello Vineyards.
Here we go, Brownies Nations. We are here with Larry Lorello at Huntington Field to talk about Here We Go Brownies wine and all the other amazing wines at Lorello Vineyards.
Yeah, I just want to tell all of you guys, it's harvest season right now. We just started with some of the whites, and reds will be coming in next. Stop out at the winery, all the wineries out in Northeast Ohio, for to check out all the harvest and what we're doing out there. Really good time right now.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Here we go.
Woof, woof.
Woof, woof.
All right, let's bring him on, Dr. David Ellery, to the program. Hi, David.
Hey, Allie. Hello, Dustin.
What's happening? How we living?
David, how are you?
Living great. It's officially like fall, almost winter. Daylight savings time is brutal. It gets dark here at 4:30. It's terrible.
5 o'clock, dude. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon in Cleveland. I'm like, it's freaking dark out there. What's going on? This is dark.
The sun is starting to set.
I was like, this is ridiculous. Well, yeah, because you're in the central. That's true. So that even. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
we're on the eastern side of the time.
You're in a weird spot because you're right. Because you're kind of almost. You would think you would be Eastern time, but you're really not because of where you're located.
Yeah.
I played a little trivia with somebody. The Panhandle, if like Pensacola, Florida, and Ontario, Oregon, are 1 hour. I think we talked about this, or 1 hour time frame, because it's weird. You're up there in the Panhandle, so you get darker quicker based on where you're at. Yeah.
Yep. We're central. They're mountain. It's crazy.
It is. David, let's get into it. Let's start with the medical aspect of things. Thankfully, Browns didn't play this week, so we don't have a lot to report on from any injuries that were suffered during the game, but we can still go over maybe kind of the timeline for some other guys. So I'll turn it over to you. Let's talk medicine.
Yeah. So just kind of running down things on the official injury report and then the practice injury report today. On Monday, Kevin Stefanski did comment on Deshaun and his Achilles and said that he will not have his 21-day practice window opened this week. So we will wait and see if that happens at all this season. But that's kind of the latest update on the Deshaun story and what's going on with his ankle. We know we've seen videos of him getting closer, but this week it's not happening. And then overall from today, a couple of things to review. Batonio didn't practice, but he was just resting. Isaiah Bond has a foot injury and he did not practice today. It's really kind of the first I've heard of that, so we'll see what that is, if he sustained it in practice sometime during the bye week. But he hasn't produced a ton this year, but regardless, still depth at the wide receiver position, so hopefully he'll be able to practice tomorrow and Friday and be able to play on Sunday. What else? Cam Robinson was sick, so he didn't practice, but it was just illness related along with Isaiah McGuire. So no issues or concerns there. Miles Harden was limited in practice with an ankle injury. But the good news is Tyson Campbell was a full participant with his concussion. So hopefully this is nothing serious for Miles and he can suit up Sunday as well, just for, the defensive secondary depth. We know Carson Schlesinger didn't practice. He's got his high ankle sprain. Shador was limited in practice with his back injury. He was there practicing, just limited. So we'll see kind of where he's listed on Sunday in terms of depth. And then the big one is Cedric Tillman. He was a full participant at practice today. I think that's a pretty strong indicator that we're going to see him playing on Sunday, which is great news. Great to see him back. Hopefully he can, have a good recovery from this injury and be another weapon for Dylan to throw to and really produce for this team, because we know that he's kind of competing for that wide receiver one spot with the way Judy's been performing this year.
David, real quick, Quinshon Judkins, I know he was banged up coming out of that last game. What was his participation today?
So no designation. So as far as I know, like they aren't listing him as having an injury currently. So he's a full participant, ready to roll.
Okay,
Awesome.
that's good.
You feel good about some of those things going into this game. It's great to have Cedric back. We know how tough the pass catchers have been, tough to watch. So excited to get him back, as well as Quinshon. I mean, there are some bright spots. I know I was just complaining and just I was really it's hard. It's hard to enjoy this offense. So to get a couple of these key pieces back healthy, it gives you something to look forward to, especially with the new offense caller. Maybe there is still some optimism surrounding this team. David, your thoughts on before we open it up to the NFL, your thoughts on the trade of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and, of course, the change of who's calling the plays.
Yeah. So I don't know what to make of the trade besides just kind of shuffling around some later draft picks, getting a sixth in return for a seventh and Tryon-Shoyinka. We didn't see a ton out of him this season, I don't think. And so it's just more draft stock, which we know Andrew Berry loves to accumulate and move around and shuffle and work his magic. And so, I guess the idea is just trying to get as many opportunities as possible to find another splash player in the upcoming draft, since we can't use it obviously for any trades moving forward now. So, someone who's not producing or being a big part of the team, I don't hate it. I mean, it's not something that I think is going to negatively impact this team. And then, what was your other question?
Tommy Reese, calling plays.
Oh, yeah. So, again, just like you've said, I don't know what to make of this. Does this mean that Stefanski is very secure in his job? Because why would you give that up if you're scrambling to keep it? Does this mean that it is as you said, a soft tank, a tank light, a diet tank? Or is it kind of just like seeing what we got? Just like when we're talking about getting Dylan started, and are they going to start Shedeur at some point? Is it seeing what Tommy can do? We know that he's had some experience starting out at Notre Dame and then going to Alabama and working for Nick Saban. So he's definitely got some good chops behind him. And so can he, give this offense a little bit of life, a little bit of buzz, and get people excited about something? I'm excited to see it. But how much is it going to be his offense versus just Kevin's filtered through him remains to be seen.
Yeah, I agree.
My personal opinion, I don't think he was given the choice. I think that decision for him to be giving up the play calls was probably a decision made above him.
I would imagine so. I think it's either one of two things. You're either told that is the case, or Kevin is so just he doesn't know what else to do. This is like kind of a last-ditch effort. Either way, like it's not good. It's not good that we're here. Right. I know that I was just talking about having some optimism on some change, but that's because it's hopeful for some change. There's something going to be different than what the result currently is. It's not a good situation. Just real quick, want to highlight Jason here. What do we think of Bond? Well, thankfully, Jason, he was a UDFA, so we didn't waste any picks on him. So I think it was kind of one of those, what Andrew Berry likes to do, right? It's taking a shot on somebody with high upside that's maybe had some concerns off the field that you can, high ceiling kind of situation. I don't think Isaiah Bond's going to be a long-term answer for this team. I don't. I think the receiving position has been an area of need for this team for quite a while. I think I'm hopeful with some of the draft capital that they have going into the next couple of seasons that they will heavily address the receiving position. It has been the Achilles heel of this team for quite some time. I mean, there's been quite a few of those, but just another example of why this offense has been so bad. You haven't had a receiver that you can rely on. So,
yeah, and as I say, along those lines, Allie, I feel like Andrew Berry hasn't felt confident finding that guy, hence some of the trades he's made for Amari Cooper and some of those other guys. If I can't find it, I'm going to go at least get what I think is, quote unquote, a legitimate,
Well, he hasn't been able to trade for one, and he has not been able to draft receivers. Like that's
right.
Just kind of the unfortunate truth with Andrew Berry. So they need to figure it out. I'm sick of bad receiving play. It's been a long 6 years.
Hey, I just want my team to be offensive, like literally score offense. I just want them to be offensive, and that means wide receivers catching footballs more than 5 yards down the field. So I'm looking forward to Dylan Gabriel, pushing that ball down the field. And the last thing he said to me yesterday was, "I'm going to go get one." So go get one.
I believe him. I think the Browns are going to win this week. I do. I think one, because there is some change offensively. They're coming off of the bye. They've had plenty of time to rest and get back to as close to full health as you can in the season. And also you're going up against a team that is actively trying to lose. So I think the Browns are going to get a win. It's still going to piss me off. Like, I'm still happy. Yeah.
Allie, like it's not gonna be a rebuild. It's gonna be Allie pissed off light.
Yeah, that's
pissed off light.
It's not fun. Like, I'm just not having fun. I'm sick of it.
Pretty mad.
I'm already mad.
Well, I will tell you this. One thing Dylan did share, he thinks this, he didn't address the one part of it, but he thought this, he said what was interesting about this Browns group, he thought this rookie group is going to be really good. And he was making comments about, like, this is one of the rookie classes in a long time that's a lot of these guys have gotten significant playing time, right, in their first year and playing. So he thinks this is going to be a really good rookie class for the Browns. So I thought that was interesting. He was like, no, these guys are really good. He's really tight with Schlesinger. They live right next door to each other. He made a joke that they play games on each other. They hide each other's keys so they can't go places. So I feel like this rookie class is really – they've kind of bonded as a team, and you can just tell. Hopefully, these guys can really stick together and be a good rookie class.
Hopefully. All right, let's talk about what happened during the trade deadline. Kind of a lot, actually. Some moves I did not think were going to happen. Let's kind of just go around the room. Just some big surprises. I mean, I'll kick it off. Obviously, I was just stunned to see. I was stunned to see the Jets move off of Sauce Gardner, but I was also surprised to see the Colts giving up 2 firsts for him. One, I think the Colts are saying, hey, we have this win now window. They're all in on Danny Dimes. They are all in on him to kind of mortgage the future and go get some defensive help. Remains, obviously, we'll see how this plays out, but I like the aggression. I do. I don't love the idea of giving up 2 firsts for a defensive back. That seems a little bit ambitious, but I like the aggression and recognizing this win now window and doing everything that they can to go win. I like it.
Yeah, can I address that a little bit, especially the Colts? Now, I don't know if you've seen a little bit of this, Allie. This team has endured a lot with the loss of the death of their owner, and the daughter stepping in, listening in, by the way, on the field, taking notes, watching these football games. And she said at a press conference, and I thought that was kind of eye-opening, I suggest more owners tune into what's happening on the field and what's going on with these players in real time. When you're investing millions of dollars in these players and draft picks, I suggest more owners do this. I thought that was pretty cool that she kind of just said that out there. And the fact that she's been boots on the ground, 7-2 with this football team, and to go make a trade like that, I think this says a lot about her leadership and what this Colts team is doing. And with the Danny Dimes trade, like, this is like, there's something cooking in Indianapolis. This team they're dangerous.
David, you said it best. More teams should have women in these situations. I mean, we talk about it, and how often, and not to just talk about men right now, but I'm going to. One thing that I think that plagues so many NFL teams, so many teams, especially our Cleveland Browns, is ego, and so many men trying to outsmart the other men that they're coaching against, and it's refreshing to see a woman in a leadership position. But you're right, not just being on the sidelines and trying to look pretty. No, like, dialed in, invested in this team, and trying to go win a championship.
Yeah.
I respect that. I do. But yeah, sometimes egos get in the way. I'm impressed with what Indianapolis is doing. David, turning it over to you, your thoughts on the trade deadline.
Well, first of all, I'm actually really surprised there wasn't more that happened for some of the more, I guess, highly competitive teams that maybe need to have some weaknesses weak areas that need to get better. I mean, thinking of like the Bills, for example, didn't really make any moves to strengthen their wide receiver room, or even like the Lions, just to bolster their offensive line and their defense as well. There's a lot of competitive teams that didn't make moves that I think maybe we expected to, but I think the team that is clearly making some really strong moves to just continue their defensive domination is the Eagles. I mean, they made 3 pretty big moves leading up to the trade deadline and acquiring Michael Carter, Jair Alexander, and Jalen Phillips. I mean, those are no small names, and if those guys can perform and live up to the billing that they've kind of lived throughout their careers, that really strengthens their defense, especially when there's some question marks around their offense still, and the Eagles are continuing to show that like, hey, they're not backing off after their Super Bowl victory, and they're going to continue to compete and try and go back and get another one. So I think the Eagles really kind of made some good moves when I expected other teams to and didn't. And then, I mean, you guys already touched on, the other bigger ones, but I think the other team that really is trying to take a step up, which I like to see, is the Seahawks going and getting Rashid Shaheed, getting a nice, 1-2 punch now with him and JSN is going to make that offense even more dynamic than it already is. And I mean, if you watched the game the other night, like the Seahawks just absolutely tore up. And it was incredible. We were just laughing at like the plays they were making. It was just fun to watch, fireworks. And now they got another weapon, and they're gonna be a challenge moving forward for the NFC.
They're a tough team, let me tell you. And those jerseys that they were wearing, those throwbacks, it is just pristine. I love it. I love to see it. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
What do you guys make of Jerry Jones and what he's doing? It's kind of.
I don't. Well, talking about ego, he's right in there.
I mean, if you want to talk about a guy that's got an ego, I mean, that he but I mean, like to make the Micah Parsons trade and then make another split. He's making. I mean, he's saying that he's passing it over to his son in the near future. Like, is he setting himself up to have the new owner? I mean, like, I don't know what he's doing.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He even said it's a soap opera. Like, that is how they operate.
Well, did you see Stephen A. Smith after he was sitting next to him in the game, and he goes, tapped him on the shoulder and was like, "Okay, I'm out. I've seen enough." Like, it's like I can't figure out what the hell the Cowboys are doing. Like,
I will just say this: I am very glad that this is not the Here We Go Cowboys podcast. Because it would be. Look, the Browns are a very frustrating team to cover, but the Cowboys, I think, would just upset me even more to have to try to diagnose what the hell that they've been doing or trying to do, even more than the Browns. And that is saying something, just because nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense in Dallas.
I can't make sense of the moves. That's my problem. Like, what are you trying to accomplish with the moves? Like the Jets, hate them or love them, they've been terrible for a long time. You can clearly see what the Jets are doing with those moves, right? Like, they're trying to find their quarterback of the future and stuff like that. But I just can't make sense of what the damn Cowboys do.
Yeah, I don't know. Real quick, want to tell you about our good friend Crystal John Tony's. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, or maybe you're looking to invest, you have some questions, give her a call. Crystal John Tony, 216-215-6663, or at johntonysellsandfemale.com. And while you're out in Cleveland, check out our friends over at Lady Caroline Cruise Ship. You can sail, look at that. It's beautiful. You can get some great views of the city, the stadium. Look at this, the skyline. It's wonderful. And while you're in downtown Cleveland, head on over to the Greater Cleveland Aquarium. Take the family, look at some fish, some sharks. You can get the whole experience. So be sure to check out our friends at Greater Cleveland Aquarium and Lady Caroline Cruise Ship. Let's give some keys to a victory. We didn't get to do this last week, and it was nice to have a little break from the Browns. But they're going up against the New York Jets. Keys to a victory, David. I want to start with you. How did the Browns win this game?
They need to take advantage of the hole now left behind after the trade the Jets made on the defensive line. Run the ball. Establish it early, get Quinshon going. He hasn't had a big game the last couple of games. I think getting the run game started early and dominating that side of the ball is a big step forward and going to get them a win. I think I've said it before, but I think if we can get Quinshon's number total scrimmage yards over 100, I think that's going to be a good sign that they're going to win the game. So receiving rushing yards over 100 for Quinshon, and then kind of going off of that, I think the other key for me is and this one's a little bit more kind of just, basics and fundamentals, but control the clock, win time of possession battle in this game, because you have two staggering, faltering teams that have had offensive struggles. If you can just get a good rhythm going and keep the defense fresh, the Jets aren't going to be able to move the ball. I mean, they're not going to be able to do anything. And if the Browns can keep them off the field by running the ball and controlling the clock and getting at least 35 to 40 minutes of time of possession, I think that's another key to winning this game.
Yeah, I think this is I hate giving keys to a victory, and the answer is like, oh, you have to win the turnover battle or you have to dominate the clock, because it's so fundamental, and that's the case for every game. I hate that answer. However, in this one, fundamentals are the key to winning this game. You're going up against an abysmal Jets team, a depleted Jets team, a defeated Jets team. They they don't want to win this game. They want to have the number 1 overall pick, in the 2026 draft class. And it's very possible that they will. So take advantage of that. You're right. They just got rid of Quinnen Williams. That's huge on the interior of their defensive line. Run the damn ball. You win in the trenches. You have the better offensive line against their depleted defensive line. Go ahead and just do what you do best, and that's running the football. That's kind of the strength of this offense, and that's saying something because they're really not averaging that many yards carry. But to your point, David, if they can get Quinshawn over 100 rushing and receiving, let's throw receiving in there too, but being able to get the ball into the hands of your playmakers, Quinshawn Judkins, if he's available, of course, I would probably bet on your tight ends to have a big game here just because of their depletion. I don't trust their linebackers against our tight ends. I think we would win that battle. So just safety net, just play decent fundamental ball. It doesn't have to be sexy. It doesn't have to be flashy. Just maybe incorporate a few RPOs. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Dillon maybe feel a little bit more comfortable if he is the one starting, of course, to be able to navigate the pocket a little bit more, use his legs to make some plays because he's good at it. He can make those reads. So those are my keys to victory. Just keep it basic. Dustin, what do you got?
Just show up on Sunday. You should be able to win. No, just kidding. Just show up, Cleveland. You should be able to win this game. No, for me, I look back to the Dolphins game, a really terrible team that we played that we were supposed to beat, and we did beat. And that was creating turnovers and giving short fields for this offense that's not very creative, plain and simple. If Tommy Rees can, for me, it's just being more creative on play calling in this game, quite honestly. Ali brought up a good point about the RPOs. Dillon is good with his legs out there when he can get out there outside of the tackles, and he can run with his feet. I mean, he did that at Oregon. He scored a 60-yard touchdown, I think, at Oregon with his feet when he took off and stuff. So I think just being more creative and giving him more of a playbook to work from, I think will probably benefit Dillon in this game. And then time of possession, long sustained drives. Use your running backs in this game. Kind of take it to them, make it a physical game, and just win it. Just go out and win it. You should be able to with your defense that you have, and run the clock, and just long, chunky 7-8 minute drives. You should be able to win this football game.
Yeah. All right, a couple of score predictions here. David, what do you got?
I got 24-6 Cleveland Browns.
Ooh, nice. All right, I like that. That would be fun. That would be a good outcome. Dustin,
that would
what do you got?
be a very enjoyable Sunday.
All right, I'm going big. I'm going big. 38-10 Cleveland Browns. 38 points they put up. 38-10 on Sunday. Get ready to watch some fireworks. You're gonna have an Njoku. You're gonna have a Fannin. You're gonna have a couple. You're gonna have a couple Judkins touchdowns. Just gonna be an offensive, just juggernaut of a game. 38-10 Cleveland Browns.
If they did that, I think that would confuse me even more. You know what I mean? Like that would just my brain can't. It just can't handle it. I hope that is the case. I would love that. That would make my Sunday just glorious. I would just thoroughly enjoy that. I'm not going to go as ambitious as you, Dustin. I'm a little bit more in line with David. I think that they get over 20. I'm going to go with 24, but I think the Jets score 14 points on us. So 24-14 Browns. That's what I got for you. Yeah, there you go. There you have it. Anything else that we missed, just NFL wide, that was surprising or crazy? I don't think so. I think that kind of covers most of it. right?
No, it was inactive but not active, kind of like David said. I think some of us thought there'd be more teams engaged than there was. It was a handful that made some splashes, but I thought, to your point, David, there would be more teams making splashes at the trade deadline this year.
I did see a tweet that said for the Eagles, David, just to your point, like I wonder if Howie Roseman is the only GM in the league that like just actually picks up the phone and makes calls because of what they were able to do. Like
Seriously.
Because even like the Jets, you probably go into that not anticipating to trade Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. But when the phone starts ringing and they say, hey, we're going to give you 2 first-round picks. I mean, like.
Well, why aren't more teams like picking apart Miami and New York right now? Like, pick up the phone and call. Like, Miami is clearly like falling apart and just disintegrating. Same with New York. Like, go just offer what you got and make your team better. I mean, the Eagles, exactly. And
Miami wasn't that willing. Like Jalen Waddle, for example, like they weren't willing to part ways. They wanted a first for Jalen Waddle, and that's a little on the steep side of things.
That's steep. Yeah, that's steep. I agree.
It's still worth the call. It's still worth the call, I would imagine. Well, yeah, there you go. There you have it. That's our take on what happened in the National Football League. David, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
All right, there you have it. That's a medical moment. All right, we've got some picks to make, Dustin. Before we do that, let me turn it over to you for a little Southern Tier Brewing.
Yeah, guys, of course, this is where you can get your official Here We Go Brownies brown ale and take some crowlers home. But tomorrow night, they're going to have the Bad Hooks Black Lager is being released and the Bad Hooks will be playing from 7:30 to 9:30. That's right. They'll be playing there from 7:30 to 9:30 tomorrow night. The band will be live. And, of course, you'll have the Bad Hooks Black Lager on tap tomorrow night and obviously book your holiday parties there. Our holiday party will be there December 18th. So look forward to that. But book your holiday parties and go check them out at Southern Tier Brewing.
There you go. There you have it. Also, look, guys, if you are looking for some apparel, some Cleveland sports apparel, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, check them out over at We Bleed Ohio. They can also get you your official Here We Go Brownies podcast hat, t-shirt, and sweatshirts. So be sure to check them out. All right, Dustin, you ready to kind of go around the league here, make some picks?
Yeah. How did I do?
You didn't do well. I got you again.
So are we 5? Where are we at now? 5-0.
I am 5-0-2. You are 0-5-2. So
we're at the midpoint now.
you gotta get one win. You gotta get a win.
No, I need more than one win. I gotta be respectful.
But you can't. You gotta get a win.
Hey, it all starts with one. Got to change the culture. That's right.
Exactly. Winning culture, winning mentality. So let's kick it off. Thursday night football. Raiders at Broncos.
Broncos.
Yeah, give me the Broncos. Falcons at Colts.
Colts.
Oh, I'm sorry. And this is a Europe game. Where is this one at?
Falcons at Colts.
But it's not in Indy. Where is this? It's somewhere in Europe.
Right, but they're considered the home team, like the Browns were. So Falcons at Colts.
Yes.
Give me the Colts.
Yeah, I think so. I'll take the Colts here too. Browns at Jets.
Browns.
Give me the Browns. Saints at Panthers.
Man, speaking of games, nobody saw that coming. Panthers. Give me the Panthers.
Panthers have 5 wins. Panthers have 5 wins on the season, which is the same amount as the Detroit Lions, by the way. Crazy. I'm going to take the Panthers here. They're not terrible. Patriots at Bucks.
Ooh, this can be a good game. Really good game. I think it's going to be a shootout. Give me the Bucks.
I think I agree with you.
Because the Bucks are 6-2 now, right? 6-2.
Yes. I'm gonna. Man, this one's kind of a coin toss here. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. It's in Tampa. Patriots have been winning consistently, but this one just feels like a Baker win to me.
Drake May's a really good quarterback. I think this will be a good game. A really good game.
Ravens at Vikings.
Here come the Ravens. Yeah, Ravens.
Yep. This is where they turn it around. Bills at Dolphins.
Bills.
Yeah. Giants at Bears.
Bears are sneaky now. Give me the Bears. Bears are showing some life. Give me the Bears.
Some life. I agree. I don't think that they are a bad team. I think they're starting to figure things out. Ben Johnson is getting more comfortable calling plays for Caleb.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the Bears. Jags at Texans.
Give me the Texans.
I'm going to go Jags. Give me the Jags on this one. Let me write this down. You're going Texans. Cardinals at Seahawks.
I think the Cardinals, that was kind of a fluky fluke. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm not betting against the Seahawks right now. They are hot. This is in Seattle. They are just – they're a team I wouldn't want to play right now. As they're starting to figure it out. They are getting hot at the right time.
By the way, did you see Sam Darnold's numbers?
Yeah, he's crazy.
No, the first half of that football game, he had a perfect quarterback rating.
He did. Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was unreal. Lions at Commanders.
Ooh. The Lions lost, right?
Yeah, they did.
I feel like the Lions are due for a bounce back win. Dan Campbell's going to get his guys ready. I think they squeak out a win on the road. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, and your Jaden Daniels is out. Give me the Lions.
Good point.
Rams at Niners.
Rams are fucking hot right now. Give me the Rams. That's another team that's really hot. The Rams. They're probably top 3 team in it. I would put them in the top 3 in the NFL right now.
Yeah. Niners beat them in the last matchup. I'm going to go with the Rams here as well. Steelers at Chargers Sunday night.
I want the Chargers to win. The Steelers are doing stupid Steeler things. Give me the Chargers. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree with you. Give me the Chargers. It's in LA.
Yeah.
It's playing good football. I like it. Eagles at Packers.
Eagles at Packers. Eagles are good, though. And teams have proven they can go up into Lambeau and win this year. Give me the Eagles on the road, actually. Give me the Eagles. Tell they they're the defending champions until they're not. Give me the Eagles.
This is a tough one. This is gonna be a good game. I'd probably go with the Packers, but they lost Tucker Kraft, who is really their number one target in so many ways. Man. But I just going in Lambeau in prime time. What did they do last week? What the Packers do? They lost, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost to the Panthers. Right? Yeah, they lost to the Panthers, which is ridiculous.
I'm going to go with the Packers here. I don't know why. I think they bounce back. I don't think they lose 2 in a row. I'm going to go with the Packers. So that's that.
By the way, the Browns beat the Packers. Just remember that.
True, they did. That's true.
So when you look at the big scheme of things,
if you're a Packers fan, you probably have to be so frustrated that you lost to the Browns and to the Panthers.
Yes, that's my point. That's my point.
They really do rise to the occasion, but they also lower to the occasion. So that would be frustrating as a fan of that team, I would imagine. All right, what else? What else do we have? Dustin, real quick, why don't you tell our listeners about Primetime?
Yeah, guys, Primetime Sports. By the way, got a lot of signings coming up. They got Denzel Ward will be there on the 25th. Then on the 15th, Matt Stover, a kicker that we've had on our show before, will be there. Matt Barr and Bob Golick. So look for these guys and some more signings. I've also been told, I think December 1st, Bernie Kosar will be out there doing some signings. So a lot of guys will be at Primetime here in the future. So look for a lot of signings. Obviously, the biggest one is going to be on the 15th and some more coming up with Denzel and some other guys.
There you go. Before we wrap up, just a quick update on your Cleveland Cavaliers. In the second quarter, Cavs are up 51-38. Darius is back. That's exciting. You get Sam Merrill back. Jared Allen's playing.
Yes,
so all exciting. Evan, right now, I mean, they're halfway through the second. He's already got 15 points. Donovan's got 17. So they're playing good. I haven't been able to watch it. Obviously, we're doing a show, but exciting to see the Cavs are up. They need a win. It's stringing together a couple here, but there you go. There you have it. Anything we missed, Dustin?
No, I'm excited to meet some fans. I know I put a post out there looking forward to going to New York this weekend to catch the Jets game in person. Take in New York. I've never been to New York, so if anybody has some things to suggest. I know I'm going to a pizza place, by the way, on like 55th. We're going to a steakhouse, Gregory's or something like that. It's a famous steakhouse, Gallagher's Steakhouse. I don't know if you've heard, but we're going to a famous steakhouse and then taking in a Jets-Browns game. So hopefully I get to watch a Browns win on Sunday to finish it off. But looking forward to that, meeting fans on the road and taking in a Browns game. So.
There you go. There you have it. Have fun in New York. I love New York. It's a great city, great food. So
any suggestions, Allie, that are like bucket list? I'm going to Times Square. I'm doing the Times Square thing.
You did? Okay. Well, I mean, this is your first time in New York?
Yes, ever.
I mean, for your first time in New York, here's my thing. Your first time anywhere in like a big city or a touristy area, do the touristy things. Then the second time you go, do the local things. So this time around in Times Square, I've heard Peter Luger's is awesome steakhouse. I haven't been to Gallagher's. I don't know, but do those things. Do the kind of the historic steakhouses.
Like this pizza place gets like a 9.3 review. Like it's off the charts pizza. So I figure I got to kind of do a New York pizza. I do want to go to Ground Zero if I can make it over there, but that's lower Manhattan. But
once you go a couple of times, that's when I'm like, okay, I like the Upper East Side. There's a couple of different places I like to just go and hang out and explore. I don't know that you have time for that. Just do the touristy things would be my suggestion.
Yeah, the best part that I'm looking forward to, I'm riding in Larry's bus, so I don't have to drive in New York. So that's going to be a pleasant. I don't have to go. And then I guess we'll just Uber to places that we need to Uber to, but I'm not driving in New York because I hear that's just hell to drive around New York. So
no, not a fan. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. That's all we have for you today. Stay safe, stay healthy. And as always, Browns fans, go Browns.
Go Browns.